Yo, what's up, people? It's the Solar Kid. This is my podcast, The Other Side of the Sun. Today we have the chubby Yogi, my boy Kevin Flea.
Thank you
Yes,
so
my
much for
bro. How
having
are
me.
you doing?
Dude, as I said, so much better for seeing you. It's nice to catch up. Seasons are changing, so the hoodies are coming on, and yeah, all is good, man.
No, it's so good to see you, bro. It's been a while, right? Like 8 years or something.
I think I can't even remember the last time I actually saw you in person. It was probably back in the studio, but like it's
The
been
studio,
ages.
the studio that you were looking after for the guy in Primrose Hill.
In Primrose Hill. Oh man, I miss that place so much.
You used to just catch on shit there, man.
The thing is, nothing happened. Like, it got used so infrequently. Like, all I got to do, like, is just hang out, take care of the place, and make sure that it was ready when people were actually rocked up.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
What you were doing there, like, yeah.
that whole experience was just like, I got to learn a lot about stuff that I would never have usually had the opportunity to put my hands on.
Yeah.
Like, I got to play with so many, like, old synths and, like, so many effects pedals. Like, dude, one of the things I suppose being like in the modern world, because we've got this wonderful like array of effects and things that we can muck around with. I mean, as a guitarist, especially when you're using stomp boxes, you know, you don't often have the time to like road test them. You don't have the time to like, you know, make it like really fiddle with the knobs.
Work on your sound and all that kind of stuff.
Which, yeah, to see what it can do. And like, you know, that was really, really good. Because I mean, I got to like play with some like old tube screamers. I got to play with some fucking amazing old analogs. You know, as far as you couldn't have asked for a nicer studio to be a creative musician in, because there was toys. There was like a fucking box of Lego. Yeah,
man. So let's delve slightly into the background. So I met Kev when I was working in the studio in North London, and but Kev's got a background in music, but in South Africa. He used to be in a band called.
I've been in several bands, man. Several actually relatively successful bands.
Yeah, man was doing well out there, bro.
Dude, you know, the thing, I was making a living playing music. That was the thing. It's like,
Joburg,
I mean, like,
in Joburg of all places.
In Joburg of all places. Well, the thing, like, it was quite funny because we were running rehearsal studios at the same time. And I mean, one of the things that Joburg didn't have at that stage, there was like so few rehearsal places. And I reckon it's one of the reasons why I still suck as a musician today. It's like when I was a kid, when I was playing, I didn't practice properly. Dude, we were jamming in people's garages. We were jamming in people's bedrooms. How many times in Joburg did you have the cops called on you because you were fucking making a noise just trying to make some rock and roll? Dude, so often. That's why, you know, that's why the fall of apartheid was like such a fucking eye-opener to me as well. Because for the first time, like, we started to actually interact with the guys. And I remember we went into Katlehongna one day and we were jamming at a dude's house. He was bass player. And like in Boksburg, where I grew up, dude, if you jammed like that, I would have been either throwing rocks on the roof or calling the cops. The guys we were jamming with in Katlehong, they wound up bringing out a braai. They wound up bringing out a cooler box and beers. And like it turned into a party. It didn't matter what the fuck the mission was. It was just like this awesome thing. I was like blessed. Oh, so anyway, bands that I was in.
No, well, I mean, wait, before you even get there, I like this the way that the conversation's going, because we lived through a really interesting time, like with the fall of apartheid, because like with a lot of people that I've spoken to, like for me it was evident. Like I went to what was called a colored school, and then all of a sudden, like black kids were coming to my school. And then like when I went to high school, we were allowed to go to what was a white school or Model C school. And like you said, for the first time, we were all starting to interact with each other and like realizing like, yo, what the fuck is this shit about? Like we're the same fucking people, like, you know what I mean? Well, I didn't think about it as in that way, you know.
I met the first black dude of my generation when I turned 13.
Yeah.
Dude, we lived completely segregated.
Yeah, same. When I was 13, 14 was the first time I acted with white people. Like I made my first white friends in school and stuff like that. Like it was, and I mean, I didn't think about it like that. When I think back now, I think about it like that. But when it was there, it was just like I'm making friends, you know what I mean, and whatever, you know what I mean. It's just like
I have to tell a story. My parents took me out of government schools. I bless them for them. They worked their asses off to get me out of a government school and into a private school. And they sent me to Christian Brothers College, Boxburg.
Christian Brothers.
You
of all
Christian
people.
Brothers College. Saint Thomas Aquinas Christian. Why do you think I
No
fucking
wonder.
turned out the way I was?
No wonder.
It's a good Catholic education. And I remember the first day. It was the most amazing thing because I'd never seen a Catholic mass. And like we got taken into the hall and we had a Catholic mass in Gaelic.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
In Boxburg. And I'd never do it. Was the robes and the incense censers and the drinking of the wine. And I was just like, what the hell? I was 13 years old. Blew my mind. Anyway, so we go back, we get put into our classes, go back in, and like we had those old desks, those old writing desks with the thing for the ink pot and like the whole number. I opened up my desk where I've been allocated to sit, and somebody who was there earlier had left a scrambled egg sandwich on brown in my freaking desk. And I was just like, I don't want this. I'm going to make a friend. And I threw the fucking sandwich into the class randomly. Just chaos, absolute chaos. I just wanted to see who it hit. I was going to make a friend. And it hit a chap by the name of Gatsitsi Tsotsotso. Okay, who fucking, I love that dude. He's now a rugby player, very good rugby coach. Awesome gentleman. He introduced me to Public Enemy.
Okay, sick.
I introduced him to Slayer.
Nice.
And like it was a wonderful, it was an awesome thing. It's like, and it's quite funny because like at the time, I don't think it made that much of a difference to me. I never thought about it. It was a whole brand new experience. I was on like this fucking adventure, and like that time, dude, what, 93, 94, 95, 96? You know, I was just out of high school in 96, and like it was a brave new world.
It was, man.
Fucking won the World Cup.
Yeah, I remember 96. I think I was 2 years behind you, so I remember like fucking pandemonium on the streets, bro. Like everywhere we were when we won the World Cup in the first time. We were out, I think we were at the waterfront or something, and just going mad. Like everyone just embraced. It's literally what Mandela was hoping for, you know, that togetherness that we were talking about. But yeah, that definitely.
It's been a long journey since, and now we find ourselves here.
Yeah, what we're doing in England, we just left, bro. We just up and left.
No, dude, I had very good reasons for coming out here. You know, I was very much in love.
Okay.
And, you know, love makes you do crazy things. Mm-hmm. Also, you know, dude, as a musician at the time, there was a better opportunity out here than there was back there.
No, I agree.
We hit a ceiling. There's only so many shows you can play, and if the radio's aren't playing your stuff, if they don't want to play your stuff, and to be fair, I mean, like the one band I was in, we were like a blues band, we were a review band, we were a party band.
What was the name of that band?
The Death Valley Blues Band. I
swear, didn't you have any like records on radios, or was it Death Valley Blues? Or
there was some stuff. I mean, we got some play, but like, you know, what does it do? Like, and I think I can say this. I mean, Samro fucks you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It is not, but yeah, they.
Oh no, dude! It's a joke. I forget the chap's name, but he was the band called the Kiff or the Kiffness or something. He's taking Samro to task because really they're just not paying their artists what they're due. They're not, and I mean that's across the board.
Yeah.
And you know, you can only play so many shows. You can only tour South Africa so long. You can only play the festival so long. And I mean, we were never going to be a headline. Death Valley Blues Band would never be like, it would never headline a festival, I don't think. But we were a fucking great support band.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we were ever cool, if that makes sense. Like it was kind of.
Maybe it was the wrong time for you guys or something.
No, it was perfectly the right time, dude. I believe that thing that like Tolkien says, a wizard arrives exactly when he's supposed to. Yeah. I believe in that, and I believe everything happens for a reason. And like we were there for that reason, and we definitely filled up that space. Funny enough, there's even been some talk about now with the whole COVID thing, and now because we're doing a lot more stuff online, and like computers is fucking amazing. We're thinking about doing some other stuff, because I mean the stuff with Death Valley that we had that's sitting on Spotify, I mean the album is good, it's great, but it
I
doesn't
remember
really,
that. Yeah, I thought
yeah.
yeah, I like it.
But for me, it doesn't really represent. It represents where we were in a studio, but it doesn't represent where that band was live, dude. And that band was all about shaking ass.
Yeah, just
like it was all. Yeah, I mean that was my sole objective: make girls dance, make people dance.
That's a good objective to have as a musician, though.
And the thing is, it kind of worked. I mean, to be fair, we were rocking pretty much to a formula. I'm not proud enough to deny that. 1-4-5 blues, nice little bit of swing. Okay, give them some sexy horns. You know, a little bit of gruff voice, and we're singing. Dude, it's fun to be around. Like, you know, you want to raise your drink in the air. You know, you want to shake your ass.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh when I tell you who that voice reminds me of.
Go for it.
Zaid. Especially because you look like him.
That dude, man, that dude has been around forever. Okay, I really hope that in some way that like his legacy does not get lost.
He's a G, man. He put me on when I was doing loads of my acoustic stuff. He used to love my live act, man. When I was doing a solo acoustic thing, he used to put me on. I played lovely gigs with him, man. He lives what he does, you know. He's a proper old school promoter who does the job, and he does it, man. He represents it.
I've only ever been to one of Zaid's shows that didn't have an audience.
Yeah. No,
he's proper rock. Been to one, and I've been to a lot.
What I liked about him was because, like, you know, the whole promoter scene in London is such a fucking, like, scam, because all the bands I've played in is, like, they make you get the audience. They make you pay for some of the stuff. They don't promote the show, you know, and it's like they are the promoters. And I was like, that does not, like, define what the word promoter means in any sense, you know what I mean? Like, promoter means you promote the fucking show, you know. Like, that's why I kind of became disillusioned with those things, like, you know what I mean, with like
I hate to admit it, I've pretty much given up on the idea of playing live music anymore. I play for myself. I make music for myself, and, you know, been buggering around with a couple of people online. I've been sitting down and, like, learning the stuff that I was too lazy to learn when I was a kid. So, like, you know, and it's like I'm sitting down doing my finger pickings. I'm learning my Indian scales. I'm trying to do that. That's kind of where my thing is. I don't get me wrong, I love performing.
Yeah, I know you do, bro. You're a natural born performer, man.
Mama gave me these baby blues, and I know how to shake them.
You meant for the stage, bro. Front and center.
Dude. Well, that's one of the things. That's funny enough why yoga has been one of the great things for me, because I've almost translated a lot of what I use as a performer into that. Because as a performer, what you do, you hold space.
Yeah.
Okay, you hold people's space. They literally, like a good performer, when you go to a great concert, okay, and you're standing in there, you're watching somebody. The prime example, I remember seeing Alice Cooper, okay, the first time at the Alexander Palace. And I mean, Alice is an old man now, okay, and he's a little man. He's not a big man. He walks out onto the stage. He takes his cane and he goes, he clacks his cane into the ground. I gave myself to him. I was just like, fuck it, dude, I'm yours. I'm yours. Take me where you are going, because fuck it, I love you.
Yeah, okay. most of those old guys have that, man. Literally, they
exactly
fucking sagging at the mouth and shit like that, man. I saw what's this guy's name? I think it's Fred Perry. You remember Jane's Addiction?
Oh yeah.
You know the lead singer from Jane's Addiction. So I used to work at this club called The Box in London, which is like a very exclusive.
Perry Farrell. That's his
Perry
name. Perry Farrell.
So I used to work at this place, yeah, and like he was performing there, but he still had it. Like he's fucking proper Hollywood, you know, like Botox to the max, like, you know what I mean. Looks like anyone in that age group, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, but still gives you a show, you know what I mean? Like literally still rocks the fuck out the place, like no matter who's there, man, you know.
And that's the thing, you as a performer, you hold space. Now the thing, what works with me with yoga is that people often, what brings people to the practice of yoga is always different. You know, some people come for the strength, some people come for the flexibility, some people come for the healing. Some people come for the philosophy. Some people look for belonging. And that's the thing with yoga, is that it offers something to everybody because it is a physical and a spiritual and a philosophical thing. And as a performer, I'm able to actually hold that space and cultivate an environment where they can blossom, where they can find foundation, where they can find flow, where they can experiment and potentially fuck up, where the place where they can also make mistakes. Which has worked well for me because I'm a fat fucker, okay, and because I swear a lot, I'm very human. Whereas some yoga teachers, bless them, and I'm not saying that they're bad teachers, but they are genetically blessed.
The embodiment of perfection.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, Hatha Yoga is about the quest for perfection. It is. It's about peeling away the layers of illusion so you can find the true self, the Atman, so you can connect with yourself, who you actually are. Not what the senses tell you that you are, not what the outside world tells you that you are, but that creative soul, the creative spirit that is linked to everything in the universe.
Yes.
And like it's being able to hold space for people so that they can do that. There was a funny thing on Facebook where somebody said, describe your job badly. And I put down that I teach menopausal women how to die.
Oh my God. That's a beautiful description, bro. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in its simplicity, and it makes complete and utter sense, you know?
Yeah. It's also black as fuck.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Like, I don't know if you know, but I kind of, I started my yoga journey in about 2009. There was like there was this show that used to come on TV. And it was these like California people, and they were like, yo, let's do some yoga. And, you know, yoga is science. And, you know what I mean? And, you know, I was being my hippie self wherever I got into it. And then like literally within a year or so, 2000, yeah, I wanted to actually become a teacher. I got the books on Hatha Yoga, Pradipika, Yoga Sutras, all that stuff. And then I kind of just, I left the books there. And then like, I mean, I kind of practiced. I used to go for classes, and then I kind of developed my own practice. And then like about 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, I read the Mahabharata. And then I read the Bhagavad Gita. And like this year, all of a sudden, just before lockdown, I really started delving into it and really like starting to gain more understanding in terms of this journey. You know what I mean? Like working out this, what is it? Samsara. You know what I mean? Working it out and literally enjoying the process, man. But just before I get you to explain some things, I'll ask you some questions on this. I want to just go a bit further back, because I remember you said you lived in Malaysia for a bit, or in Thailand.
Yeah, in KL. Jalan Bukit Bintang.
Yeah, so did you ever tell me something about the occult? You said you were really interested in the occult. I really want to delve a bit into that side of now that.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny enough because my journey to yoga and the occult are very much interlinked. I don't know what started it. I have no idea where the germ came from. It might have been Catholic school.
Yeah, because most people are like, yo, that's the devil, bro. Like, you don't do that devil, especially if you're from South Africa, man. You know, with our, you know.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Weird, perception on things.
He's a Satanist.
In any race in South Africa, bro, whether you're white, colored, black, whatever, like they will, you devil worshipper.
Yeah. I started reading, well, sport actually brought me to yoga. Okay. Yoga introduced me to pranayama, breathing. And at that time, you know, I was going through a lot of changes. My mind was awakening. I was starting to inquire about things. I was probably around about the same, probably a few years after that I discovered LSD. Mm-hmm. And like just had this big conscious expansion, and like I wanted to make sense of the world. And because of things like Freemasonry and all of these societies that are involved that kind of looked like they had it together, Because, you know, let's face it, if the New World Order is the New World Order and like the Freemasons are a link up of the New World Order, you know, that means like if there's order of chaos, that means there must be some kind of structure. Now, the best way to influence the world, they always say, is like, you know, do the study, but then in the moment, you've just got to let it go and let it be. You know, that's kind of how that's what makes science art, is moving something from experiment into experience. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that synthesis. I wanted to make sense of religion and art. I wanted to make sense of experience. I wanted to find God. I wanted to commune, because if I belonged to something, I wanted to know what I belonged to. And I think that's the human quest. We are the creation that becomes the creator. And that's what led me down that path, because I wanted to understand my place in the universe. And when you start going into the occult gave answers for that, because it gave you the flower of life. It gives you structures. If say, for example, if you're looking at the more Abrahamic things, of angels, of ritual to have, and how to, and all ritual is something just to bring structure into your life, because when you have structure, you can understand time.
It helps you to make sense of reality, or like
correct. It helps, yeah, exactly. And I think that's really where my interest came in. And then, like, I found, I mean, witches are cool.
I've always loved, or not loved, but like I've always enjoyed reading up on paganism and like the whole stuff they do, and like especially because a lot of people, I think I delved into that because so many people are like, oh, pagans and this and witches and shit, like, you know, like very like anti all this stuff, and I'm like, no, but I need to figure out why are people like that. And then when you delve into it, it's like these people actually revere the earth and like the moon and the cycles of nature, and you know what I mean, it's the solstices and the equinoxes, and I'm like, what's so bad about this? This seems like quite natural to me, you know what I mean? Like
it actually sets you at your ease. That it doesn't become this overwhelming big finger in the sky that's busy pointing down at you, being be good or be else.
Going to hell.
You know, yeah, exactly. I mean, nobody likes the threat of hell. Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why I like Buddhism, is because Buddha basically said, well, life is suffering. You're in hell already. But it doesn't have to be. You've got two choices. You've got love, you've got fear. One is fake, one is real. Choice is yours.
Well, they even say that Buddha says that he's, you know, if you think of heaven, he's not there. He's in another place. He's in the place where he's dealing with, you know, whatever difficulties there are, you know what I mean? And being able to be happy and joyous within that space, no matter, you know, what you're experiencing. So yeah, I mean, like, I really started on my previous, you'll see in one of my other episodes, I just spoke to a Krishna monk the other day from
really? I love the Krishnas, man.
Yeah,
Krishnas
he was
such fun.
That was such an interesting conversation, man. Like literally, I mean, we also spoke a lot about the, you know, the Vedas, and like he put so many things in context in terms of reincarnation and life, in the cycles of life and death, and like the forms of beings and stuff. Because I asked him questions on like lust and this and that, and like, yeah, this was a really good episode. I mean, a really good podcast, man. That's really cool, bro.
Oh, dude, I look forward to listening to that. I had a wonderful experience with the Krishnas at a festival called Rustlers Valley. I mean, do you know Rustlers?
I've heard of it, never been there.
Oh, dude, Rustlers Valley is amazing. Great hippie fest. Like, awesome hippie fest. Like, the people there were just, like, genuinely cool. And they were trying to make, you know, we talk about building community. Those dudes, they were fucking trying, dude. They tried their hardest. But, yeah.
You make it seem like they didn't achieve it.
Oh, dude. Essentially, it just got struck by fucking lightning, dude. Like, God was out to fuck them, if there is a God. Okay, I don't know what the internal politics were. I hear stories, but like I don't know the truth. But like seriously, dude, lightning, fires. I mean, the history of the valley. No, not at the festival. For the community that was living where they had the festival. Oh man, it was crazy. But I mean, that whole valley has such crazy history, because I mean, it's called Rustlers Valley because they used to go where the guys used to steal cattle. They used to take them into that particular valley because it was really good to hide, because nobody could find it until helicopters. And I mean, it's like, yeah, there's crazy earth energy there, man. Like earth dragons. If you're like into that kind of stuff, dude, there's a fucking earth dragon right there. Just niet te Lachensberg, huh?
Yeah,
It's
I
fucking
think
in there.
I've been there, man. Like, I think I've actually been there, probably with my parents, like, or near there or something. Yeah,
Dude. Yeah, it's Vicksburg, Friesberg. Beautiful place. Why the fuck is it talking about wrestlers? Hippies.
Occult, hippies.
Oh yeah. Oh, Krishnas. The Krishnas used to come down and do the food at Wrestlers Valley, or like one of the food things. And oh man, I had the most amazing conversation with the guy, and he explained to me, which I didn't understand at the time. I was probably about 19, 20 years old, about Aryans and how, because all I knew about Aryans was Nazis.
White supremacy, yeah.
Okay? It's all I knew. And he explained this whole thing to me, and how the Arya and how the swastika things, how all of that is actually like sort of part of the history, and it's not necessarily, they're not just fucking white supremacist bastards. And I never understood that, and how like the flow of history happens. They've got a wonderful, like the Vedas have got some of the most wonderful knowledge in them. I mean, everything is sort of tainted by history. And I mean, I'm not trying to discredit the Bible. I'm not trying to discredit the Torah. I'm not trying to discredit fucking anything. But there's just these wonderful threads that all kind of came together and started making sense. Because I'd never had exposure to that kind of stuff before. So yeah, that was awesome.
No, I'd say the same for me when I mean, it started for me with when I read Paramahansa Yogananda autobiography of a yogi.
I have a confession to make. I've never read it.
So that book, yeah, like for me, because I've been grappling with science and philosophy, that just put everything together. And I was like, yes, okay, thank you. It makes sense. I don't just have to think one way, you know, like, and I'm not saying like, for me, like I've always had a feeling like science proves philosophy, or like when people would say things like, you know, in the Bible, it says, God said, let there be light. I was like, yeah, well, what do you think the Big Bang was? You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Like, just, obviously I couldn't explain it like, you know, in detail or whatever, but like for me, that was how I felt. It's like, everything is everything. Everything is a part of everything. We live in this life, you know, we are part of this thing. We can't just go and meditate in the Himalayas and whatever forever, you know what I mean? Unless that's your inclination. You need to come back to reality and be able to live within this existence and stay present, you know what I mean? And stay, you know what I mean? Because we are part of it, literally. Yeah.
Krishnamacharya said that enlightenment doesn't last a lifetime. It's like a flash. It's like a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what our lives are in the grand existence. We are so fleeting anyway. You know, enlightenment is not meant to last forever, because it's kind of lasting forever anyway. It's just not in that particular state that you're in. We have to function. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, do your duty. Action is far greater than inaction.
Yeah, because he's like, yo, I don't want to go and fight this thing. It's wrong, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yo, bro, you need to just do your thing. This is your, you know what I mean? This is your purpose. You need to do this, you know, otherwise, like, yeah, you can't be in two minds about these things. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big thing about people finding their purpose. However, you know, you've got to do the research. When you've done the research, you know, you have to meditate on it. You have to think about it. You have to reflect. And then once you've got the reason, you've had the reflection, then you can rejoice.
So tell me, like, how did you, with the, like, actually teaching yoga, you had to go for training and you had to...
Yeah, well, it's a weird thing, because I never actually anticipated becoming a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
I've got a very strong home practice. I don't actually like going to public classes, okay? And you can bear testament to this. I breathe really loudly. I do, okay?
Yes,
you must hear me in a yoga class, dude. I sound like a telephone pervert. It's like having a fucking orangutan. Okay, I'm loud. I'm very, very, very loud. So like it's almost embarrassing sometimes. So like I've got a strong home practice. When the missus and I split, I kind of took it hard, and I fell very heavily into my yoga practice. And like I was working out freaking like every day, 2-3 times sessions a day. Just like, because I was heartbroken, I was sore, and I needed to fix. And I fell into the practice because, you know, Maharishi Patanjali tells us only using pain as a method of purification can one find their way to yoga. So I embraced that pain and I fell into it. And like I destroyed 2 mats over the space of about 2 years. Okay.
Nice.
Just in practice.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you couldn't even, you weren't very flexible in the beginning, and then
no,
you're like, yeah,
no, dude, I'd lost everything. I mean, you even said to me when you first started, it was like, where's the rest of me?
Like, yeah, you've lost loads, man.
And like I couldn't. My knees were up around my ears, and I mean, being an ex-sportsman as well, it scared the crap out of me. It really did, and it was a lot of hard work just to start moving again and actually force myself to find out who I was again. And I started the Diary of a Chubby Yogi Instagram account to make myself accountable, because I don't keep a journal very well. And like one of the things when you're doing anything like this, even magical work, even any kind of occult work or any kind of transformative stuff, you need to keep a journal. You know, if you make a good track, you have to fucking know what's going on, know where you started, know where it's going. You have to document this shit. Yeah. Okay. So I started Diary of a Chubby Yogi because Chubby Yogi needed a fucking diary. Yeah. Okay. To make himself accountable. And I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And one day, I just got really frustrated with my own home practice. I was angry. I didn't want to get on the mat. I was frustrated. I was sore, and I needed guidance. And once Ishvani Pranidhana, supplication to the spiritual experience. I needed a guru. I needed guidance. And my ex, who is a yoga teacher, we kept a very amicable relationship. Like it wasn't a bad split.
I didn't actually know, bro. Honestly.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, the thing is, it wasn't really something I was supposed to be very public with.
No,
anyway.
you wouldn't, would you? Like, hey.
Yeah. But I suppose in a way I expressed it through Chubby Yogi because, you know, I was talking when I cried, I spoke about it. When I was frustrated, I spoke about it. I wrote it all down. It's all fucking there. It's still online, and it's literally me going, here is my bleeding heart. And what was great about that is I started to get a lot of people coming back and going, listen, thank you for putting it out there. Thank you for being honest, because I feel the same.
I do remember that time. I was probably, dealing with.
Oh, dude, you got 3 kids.
Exactly. Yeah, that's me. That's my bleeding heart. Anyway. Yeah. No.
That's one thing. I'm very grateful. I mean, Haley and I decided not to have kids, and I think it was one of the best things that we could have done in the grander scheme of things.
Yeah, no, too.
But because we both learnt a lot, and you know, it may sound strange to say this, I'm so grateful for it happening because it's changed my life. It turned me into a yoga teacher. All of a sudden, like I say, as I was saying, I had people coming back to me. I had one guy who was actually plays in a band here in London, and he said to me, "Look, you know, I'm battling." He also broke up with his girlfriend of like 17 years.
Oh, wow.
And said, like, you know, I can feel myself going down a drink and a drug hole, and like I don't want to be there. I've seen what yoga has done for you, and like, can you help me? And like I was in the middle of my teacher training. Oh, sorry, did I say why I went for my teacher training? No, I didn't.
Just you were getting to that point. Yeah, you were getting.
Oh, sorry, jumping around like a motherfucker.
No, you're getting to that point.
Yeah. Haley basically turned around to me, and I said I was frustrated with my practice. And she said, why don't you go do your teacher training? Not so that you can teach us, not so that you can teach people, but so that you can learn yourself. Yeah. It doesn't put you into a public class, and it puts you with people who are experienced and probably have a little bit more compassion than your average person. So, you know, it might actually be really good. And I did. I went to Yoga London, and I did my teacher training over a year. About 6 months through, this guy came to me and he said, look, you know, I need help. And it's great because I needed help too, because I needed to learn how to teach my sequence for the end of my exams. So like he was living in a squat in Hammersmith, and I went up there like every Monday night for about 3 months. And it was a bunch of punk kids, like crusty punks. Yeah. And these dudes used to come down and like bugger around. And like, I mean, they were drinking beer and smoking cigarettes while we fucking doing a sauna. And I go and I take these guys through a modified primary series. And we were just mucking about and having fun and like doing handstands. I was teaching the guys crow and say like mucking about. It's like, oh, can you do this? Oh, look, the fat guy can do this. Can your skinny ass do this? And like, it was fun. It was really, I was like Mowgli, okay, growing up in amongst wolves. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. And what was great is I saw people having fun, and it appealed to the performer in me. It appealed to the preacher in me, and because I do think there's a little bit of a preacher in me. I do.
Well, coming from the blues background.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons probably the blues band did as well as it did, is because I like to spread the word.
Get that soul. Get that soul.
Feel it in your heart. Feel it in your heart and send it out through your fingers.
Yeah, man. And then what, you just sign up for some places and just started teaching, or like, yeah?
Well, by the time I'd finished my teacher training, my job with the escape room guys was over. We haven't even delved into that yet, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish. That was an awesome thing. But anyway, once I came out, one of the things that I wound up doing is I moved out of London and sort of into northern Kent, to out Orpington, Bromley way.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And, yeah. And I started going to a leisure center out here. Now, being South African, I didn't know what the fuck a leisure center was. It's like, this is a completely new thing in my existence.
Yeah, it's like, how does every community have their own leisure center? Like, fucking hell, that's so cool.
And like, there's a swimming pool, there's a hot room, there's yoga classes, there's squash courts, all in one fucking building.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna have me a bit of that. I went down there and started doing some yoga there. And one of the teachers, Sally Chan, fucking big shout out to Sally Chan. She came up to me after the one class and said, your practice is all right. Where the fuck do you come from? And so I told her I was about to finish my teacher training and and she organized me a bunch of cover classes at one of the gyms in Orpington.
Nice.
And I literally walked in there relatively clueless and just started preaching and haven't stopped since.
Nice, man. That's the universe, bro.
Dude, what's beautiful about it is if you look at the Vedas, if you look at the Upanishads, a lot of that information they said is supplied by its universal knowledge. All I'm doing is I'm passing on universal knowledge. I'm not a guru. Okay, I don't even like to call myself a yoga teacher. I'm a yoga student. I'm still learning. Okay, this isn't my culture. This isn't my background. I have a lot to learn, and what is wonderful about it is that I have a lot to share from it as well. And the thing is, the great thing with yoga is the more we learn, the more we share. Sanatana Dharma, we live the truth. And that living that truth is so important because it goes beyond genetics, because all of a sudden it's not just us, it's not just humans, it's animals, it's the plants, it's the fucking rocks, it's the planet, it's the universe, it's fucking everything. We are all connected to that creator spirit. We have that moment of like being an avatar for a moment, but it's not us. Okay, it's carbon and water and stuff, and then it goes back and we reprogram and come back and fucking do it again.
So have you ever felt have you ever hallucinated while meditating or anything similar to?
I'm going to say yes, because life is a hallucination.
Okay.
I like to delve. I do like to experiment with lucid dreaming. But the problem is because I'm a bit of an anarchist deep down, as soon as I feel like I have any kind of control, I'm just going to go, yeah, fuck it. Woo! Throw it out of the window. That's why I don't drink anymore.
Nice, bro. Nice.
Yeah, no, actually, that's been 13, 14 years now. Almost.
Okay. Yeah, you never drink. Yeah, even back then, yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good. I'm sure you
still smoking pot, though.
Yeah? How's that going? You need to move to California, bro. where they do
man.
the weed yoga sessions. They, you know, you just can smoke.
I'll tell you something. If ever they decriminalize in the United Kingdom, I will probably do at least 2 weekly stoner yoga classes.
Do you think they'll ever do that?
Yeah.
You think? You know, they've just
dude,
like taken it up a classification again, like recently.
Dude, Brexit's going to be a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
It is. And the thing is, Theresa May's husband, he's got his fingers in some big dope farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the thing is the scope for the use of marijuana is fucking, or not marijuana, sorry, I shouldn't use the word marijuana. Cannabis is huge. It's huge. Cannabis oils, cannabis fibers, blah, blah, blah,
well,
blah.
CBD is legal now in the UK.
There we go. I mean, so it's already, that's a great sort of step forward. But considering how chaotic things are at the moment, you know, it would just be kind of nice for somebody to throw us a sardine and just to go, don't worry.
Be happy.
Get high in the privilege of your... I mean, they've done it in South Africa now.
Yeah, bro. Like,
so
many of my boys back home are like delving into like making and doing oils and all that things. I seen one friend of mine send me a picture of him like in a braai, like he just had all this like weed from his garden. He's just chucking it in there, and he's like putting his head in the braai, and he's like, ah, good morning. I was like, yep, yeah, I can imagine. It must be nice back home.
But dude, what a wonderful opportunity for green tourism.
Yeah.
A huge opportunity there.
Mm. No, I mean, in a place where there's sun all year round, like, you know, it makes sense, you know, it's literally...
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, the like stoner culture is becoming more and more acceptable.
Mm.
You know, I'm not saying that it doesn't have its problems. Okay. I mean, if there are underlying psychotic issues, you know, somebody's going to get psychotic, you know, but they would have got psychotic anyway, probably.
I think so. And obviously there are stronger forms of, you know.
Oh, look, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, guys, like a lot of the dudes are going with like edibles and like going to like insane levels. But I mean, that's just humans, man. That's why they call it a human race, because we're trying to fucking win. Dude,
edibles are like, I have to give that a break, because edibles just fuck you up. You know, I mean, if you don't know, like, I used to watch this show called Weedy Kit, and like on Viceland. I don't know if you watch any Viceland shows.
I'm aware of it, yeah.
But there used to be Bong Appetit, and like those guys, when they do, like, they basically do all cannabis infused like foods, you know what I mean, from anything.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll take a culture, say Vietnamese or like Thai or whatever, and then get like a professional chef from that culture, and then get like a professional, like they've got their professional weed dudes, and then they get them to like kind of cultivate these meals like infused with like rosins and oils, so they know like their percentages and stuff like that. But when I had an edible, like, dude, that just knocked me out. Like, I couldn't handle it. Like, I just had to go and sleep. I was just...
Dude, I remember one day, this is many moons ago. Cool Runnings, Melville.
Yes.
Downstairs in the dungeon. Dude, downstairs in the dungeon, we made some brownies, like hash brownies. And I saw probably one of the biggest dudes I've ever met in my life. Okay, he's a huge man, ex-bouncer. Okay, huge dude. I saw him reduced to a slobbering, kind of whimpering, shaking because of those freaking hash brownies. To be fair, though, I mean, I will say in his defense, he licked the bowl when I was making them, and like he ate the crumbs out of the bag. Okay, like he took too much. Yeah, edibles are bad. It's a different thing that happens in your stomach. It's a different chemical reaction.
Yeah, it's not like smoking it, definitely. And you need to know, you need to understand, like, when like I said, those guys in that show, they know the exact ratios and percentages, so they can be like, one little bite of this thing is basically equivalent to like one joint or whatever and stuff. So if people can tell me that, then maybe, you know, I actually haven't smoked for over 8 months, 7 months now. So
okay.
I'm kind of clean, I guess. If you want to call it that. But always, I mean,
I stopped nicotine the day of lockdown.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I wasn't smoking cigarettes anymore. I'd moved on to one of those vaporizers.
Yes, yeah.
But I was only using it while I was driving, because like driving can be a stressful thing.
But you never used to really smoke. Like, do you ever used to buy? I swear you used to just like have a rollie every now and then.
I used to bum the occasional one. I mean, but before, I mean, probably when I was in my mid-20s, I was doing like 30 B&H a day. But, I mean, that was, that was a different time. Those were the days when you could
just
buy
needed a bottle of brandy and a bottle of brandy, a 2-liter Coke. What did they say? 10 liter brandy, 12 liter Coke.
Box of Peter Stuyvesant Reds.
Peter Stuyvesant Reds, yeah. No. I mean, I kind of went off the tobacco a while ago, and like I never used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke rollies, but not even like just out. Like I was only smoking it with weed. Like I never used to just have it on its own.
Yeah.
And then by the end, like by the beginning of this year, I was just vaping. Or like bowling, I used to have bowls for like, just whatever. And I used to just bowl it and stuff, yeah. And then I just stopped. Same like with meat. I stopped meat like about 2 years ago.
Nice.
People were like,
how's that working out for you?
So I call myself a flexitarian now. So I still don't eat red meat and stuff like, but I have fish, and every now and again I'll have chicken, stuff like that. If my wife has some really nice, because my wife loves biltong and stuff, so like if she has some nice droeworst or something, I'll maybe have one of that. But generally, just steamed veg and veg. I mean, the veggie options nowadays are pretty cool, man. Like really.
The veggie options at the moment are fucking awesome. Also, like I mean, in the UK, you can get a good selection of veggies pretty much all year round.
Yeah, I mean,
we're well taken care of. We can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it came down to it, then I have nothing else to eat. I'll just eat whatever's there, to be honest. But like, yeah, I'm not like a serious strict vegan kind of, And
I mean, I've got absolutely nothing against vegans. I mean, I all carnivores. I mean, dude, everybody's kind of living their own thing. For myself, I try and consume as little meat as possible. But I'm never going to say no, because it also. I don't want to ever wind up in a situation where somebody offers me a meal and I turn them down. Yeah. If that makes sense.
No, I understand. Yeah.
It may sound like an odd thing, but like, yeah.
No, I understand that. How do you know if someone's vegan?
They'll tell you.
Literally. Hey, Steven's calling me here, man. The guy that you introduced me to, who has been my business partner for over 10 years now.
Did I introduce him to you?
Yeah, we were in the studio, and then you were like, yo, this is Keenan, I think you guys should, and then, I don't know, we just kind of clicked, and yeah, we've been working together ever since.
I love that dude. He's a very, very, very rad man.
Very, very intelligent guy, man. Which is why I got him on my team.
Fucking hell yeah.
But yeah, man, Kiev, like just in closing and stuff, man, it's been awesome having you on and talking about your journey. What I'll do is probably maybe in a couple of months or a year or something, we get back on and just recap and see like what's changed and, just update on what's going on. And then any kind of links and stuff, you can just forward it to me. I'll put it in the description for your classes and for people to come check you out, check out your content. Are you doing, you say you're not doing any music anymore and stuff, it's just mainly...
kind of doing some stuff in the background. Cubes and I have got an idea. I mean, we've been doing the low boy stuff for a while, but I mean, since there's no venues open, I mean, there's barely any rehearsal rooms open. Like, we're not really playing. We've been writing stuff for a project called Henson and Bedges. Which is basically what we do is we've been mashing up songs and just like putting different songs into different songs music and like just mucking about with things, doing sort of like a kind of like a vaudeville comedy show, for lack of a better phrase.
Nice.
But that's still very much in the writing process. We're having a lot of fun with it, but whether it ever goes live, who knows? I mean, what's happening with entertainment?
Who knows? It's online.
It's online.
Pay for this.
Well, dude, it must be said, like, actually going online has been one of the best things that's actually happened to my career. Consistently, I mean, like
teaching online?
I teach online every day.
Okay.
I've got an 11 a.m. class that runs pretty much every weekday. That's freely available. Like, all you have to do is just like send me an email address, and I've not been putting you onto a list, man. All I'm doing is I'm just like just sending you invites every freaking day for that thing. And I mean, it's, as I said, it's freely available. If you can donate, people have been donating whatever they can. But it's also, it's promoting regular practice.
Nice.
And I mean, what's been lovely about that as well is like I've had students who have gone from like 1 or maybe 2 classes a week to now be able to do like 5 classes a week.
Yeah, almost,
and all of a sudden, like the thing is with yoga, with any kind of ritual based thing, the more often you do it and the stronger you get without even realizing it. I mean, yoga is not fucking powerlifting. You don't see immediate results because you're never pushing yourself to those limits. You know, you're always working within your range of motion. Brahmacharya, you're following restraint.
Yeah. No, I mean, same here, bro. Same for me. I mean, I used to do it like once or twice a week before. I mean, I was always regular with my practice. But since the beginning of lockdown, I've been pretty much doing it almost every day, you know, like for 6-7 months now. Like, and I'm so much better for it. Like, I love it.
Dude, I've got a little warm-up that goes to the beginning of my classes. I've been doing it probably every practice now for the beginning of, let's say 2 months. I had a woman, just because of the warm-ups, get her feet behind her head.
Wow. Wow, that's deep. That's proper deep stretching.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, to be fair, I mean, she had relatively loose hips already, but from somebody who had never even thought about putting her...
That doesn't sound like good, bro. Diary of a chubby masochist.
This is what I get paid for, dude. It's either that or I have to get naked on the internet, or like, you know, and who wants to see my OnlyFans? I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been propositioned by a fair amount of gay guys, but like, still.
Like, okay, I'd love you to just play with, you know.
Oh, dude, the Chubby Yogi has a small cult following in Germany amongst the gay bear population out there.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, dude. Gotta love them.
Yeah, it's you spreading that light, man. You know, it doesn't matter who's receiving or where it's being received. You're spreading the light, man. And I think in the current climate and the global consciousness, like the connections between all of us, it's amazing how, like you said, you over here, you can be, you know, communicating and touching people anywhere in the world, really. You know what I mean? So yeah, Kim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Brother, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. This has been the Other Side of the Sun podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Kiv, if there's any last words or anything you want to leave us with.
Be excellent to each other.
Peace.